All right, here they come. These are young men from Woodland, 4th and 5th grade. Come on, boys.
They're all the same. That's how I'm waking them up in my house in the morning. Come on.
All right, come on down front.
You got something to do. Cute as a button. Look at them.
4th and 5th grade books.
All right, will everybody stand? All right, whenever you boys are ready.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You did a great job. And again, thanks for coming and visiting us. And you're more than welcome to stay for the meeting. And you can watch this part on YouTube in just a couple of days. All right, again, welcome to everybody. It's nice to see a full house. First up is public comment. If someone would like to address the board for an item that's not on the agenda tonight, you can step to the microphone and state your name, please.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. My name is Alina Barbato, and I'm a prevention specialist at Warren Township Youth and Family Services. And I'm also a member of Healthy Communities, Healthy Youth. And we also have Joe Doyle, who's the director of the Teen Center at Warren Township. And we also have an 8th grader here at Woodland Middle School. Her name is Kira Rodriguez. And she would like to read a letter that was drafted by the board members of the Healthy Community, Healthy Youth.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome. Go ahead.
Dear Mayor and trustees, tobacco use remains the single most preventable cause of disease and premature death in the United States. According to Illinois Youth Survey data, the number of 12th graders using electronic cigarettes in Gurnee is 3 times that of traditional tobacco products. This use rate is even higher than the use of cigarettes 10 years ago. Increasing the sale age for tobacco products to 21 or tobacco 21 T21 is a promising intervention worthy of passage by the village of Gurnee for several reasons outlined below. 1. Nationally, 95% of adult smokers start before they turn 21. This time period is when the brain is still developing, including the parts responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and sensation seeking. Adolescents and young adults are therefore a critical population to target with evidence-based tobacco control strategies. 2. Tobacco companies as well as the e-cigarette industry heavily target young adults ages 18 to 21 through a variety of marketing activities because they know it is a crucial time period for solidifying nicotine addiction. Increasing the age for sale of tobacco products to 21 will help counter the tobacco industry's efforts to target young people at an important time when many transition from experimenting with tobacco to regular smoking. 3. Tobacco 21 will also keep tobacco out of high schools, where younger teens often obtain tobacco products from older students. Currently, 5 states and over 270 localities, 7 in Lake County, have already passed laws to raise the minimum age of sale of tobacco products to 21, including Evanston, Chicago, Oak Park, Highland Park, Naperville, Deerfield, Maywood, Lincolnshire, Vernon Hills, Berwyn, Buffalo Grove, unincorporated Lake County, Elk Grove Village, Mundelein, and Riverwoods. The percentage of population already covered by T21 in Illinois is over 25%. Healthy Communities, Healthy Youth, HCHY supports Tobacco 21 policies as it aligns with our mission to inspire and facilitate the community to work together in developing healthy, responsible, caring, and competent youth. HCHY members include the City of Park City, Community Youth Network, District 50 PTA, District 56 PTO, Gurnee Counseling Center, Gurnee Fire Department, Gurnee Park District, Gurnee Police Department, Gurnee School District 56, Lake County Health Department, Lake County State's Attorney Office, Lake County Sheriff's Department, Rep. Sam Yingling's office, Senator Terry Link's office, Village of Gurnee, Village of Wadsworth, Warren Newport Public Library, Warren Township High School District 121, Warren Township Special Recreation, Warren Township Youth Services, Wildwood Park District, and Woodland School District 50.
Well, thank you, beautifully read. That's good information. The board will be considering that ordinance in just a little bit, so that was very helpful to hear all those facts and all the support that it already has garnered. Good job.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Trustees. Mi nombre es Celeste Flores. I'm a resident here in Gurnee, and I work with Faith in Place. We're a faith-based environmental organization, and we're going to be having a Winter's Farmers Market on April 7th at the Annunciation of Our Lady Episcopal Church. So I just wanted to inform you, invite you all to come. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1. I'll leave something for you guys to see, but we work across the state, and it's just something we're having here for the first time in Lake County. We've been in Lake County for about 4 years as an organization, and it's the first time we're bringing this program particularly to the area, so I just wanted to inform you guys about the work that we're doing.
Well, welcome. It sounds great. If you would give it to Jack, he will help promote it across our social media channels, so thank you. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name is Marcia Smith. I'm the owner of Smokes and Such. We are a business in Gurnee for 7 years now. We create good tax revenue for the city. We employ a lot of local people. In 7 years, I have never in that store had one citation for selling tobacco to a minor, and I myself am a non-smoker. My purpose today is to address this pending vote on Tobacco 21, not to argue about if smoking is a good or a bad thing, or if youth are at risk for smoking. My focus instead is going to be on the concept of the age of consent. In this country, 18 years old is the age of consent that comes with many significant rights. And those rights impact the individual, the 18-year-old, as well as society. And so I'd like to look at a few of those. There are some variances from state to state or town to town, but by and large, once you turn 18, you may vote, which has a huge impact on the individual, and as we see on society as a whole. You can get married. You can choose not to wear a motorcycle helmet. While a lot of states have laws for motorcycle helmets, once you turn 18, you can decide if you want to continue doing so. You can serve in the military. I don't know if any of you have children in the military or have family members in the military, but my son joined the military at 18. He's a Special Forces airman who has served a couple of tours overseas. He's been in very risky, dangerous situations to protect all of us, myself as well. And while I would not want him to smoke, I certainly would not feel that it is my place to tell him at that level of his life and that level of his choices that he cannot. You can also consent to surgery when you turn 18 years old. You can enter legal contracts. You can enter land contracts, business contracts, financial contracts. You can be tried as an adult, and if found guilty, you can serve in an adult penitentiary. You can also, maybe much to our dismay, once our children turn 18, you can keep your parents out of all of your dealings. And in fact, if I want to find out something about my 18-year-old's visit to the doctor, I have to get her consent. So they are capable at 18 years old of all of these significant things, all of this control over their life, all of the choices that they make. And now we want to say you can do all of those things, but you cannot smoke and you cannot vape. I just think that that's not right. I think more than that, though, this type of ordinance is not really going to have the impact that you desire. I've been emailing a little bit back and forth with Dr. Rob Crane, who's the president of Tobacco Addiction Foundations, and he said that 90% of smokers start before they are 18. Okay, 90% before they are 18, so they are already making an illegal choice. The law of being 18 doesn't mean anything to 90% of the people choosing to smoke. I think if 21 is the magic number, just as a side note, then we wouldn't have underage drinking problems that are the third leading cause of death and also a significant issue among young people and society at large. And just to digress a little, because I've been thinking about this a lot, there are others. The second leading cause of death has to do with obesity and lifestyle choices and lack of exercise and those kinds of things. So if we're going to start to regulate, I think if our focus is generally and genuinely concerned about the youth of Gurnee, then those would be things I would expect to see also, that we are now going to talk about sugar consumption, exercise lifestyle, and those things, because those are also bad for the individual and for society as a whole. So I'm hoping that there is at least consistency. So solutions, just to throw out some things to think about besides just putting an ordinance out there, because prohibition doesn't really work. They will go somewhere else if they want to smoke, because 90% of them are under 18 anyway. I think the focus should be on the age of consent. If we really believe that 18-year-olds are incapable of making lifestyle choices, then we need to focus on the age of consent. And more locally, though, I think we first need to target businesses that are selling to minors. We don't sell to minors. We card everyone when they come in the door. They're not allowed in the store if they are under 18 years old. We do our due diligence to make sure that we are not selling to minors. So I think that the target should be there, the focus should be there, the effort and the money should be there to target those businesses. But I think probably equal to that, or maybe even more important, would be to develop youth programs that teach them to say no, teach them how to make those better decisions. Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign was massively successful at a time that it was needed, and it helped a lot of people. So I think you need to get on the ground with them. I don't think making ordinances is going to make the difference. I think it's the hard work to come alongside them, to teach them, to educate them, and to have a relationship with them to make those things connect. We will survive as a business. I just think that it's wrong to take away adult rights and override the age of consent on a line item. Mostly this will not have the impact that you're looking for. Minors will still smoke if they want. And in fact, sometimes these kinds of things can create black markets and underground operations that can have even greater consequences. I feel, my opinion is that this ordinance is a Band-Aid at best, but an ill-placed one. It's my sincere hope that you will consider how to effectively address the concerns of underage smoking and not just throw some paper at it and hope that now everyone will follow that paper. But I also hope that you'll do your due diligence on this topic and not just vote because it sounds good or because that town did it and that town did it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for that perspective. All right, any other public comment? Go ahead.
Thank you for listening, especially about this Tobacco 21 issue. I just have a couple salient points to make in response. My name's Carolyn Surf. I represent the American Heart Association, and I believe I've been in touch with several of you about this previously, but so I won't bore you with the facts you already know about this, but I did want to point out just on 2 points. One, there is a laundry list of things you can do when you're 18, including join the military, but we stand with an organization called Mission Readiness, which is a group of retired generals who has stood up and written in support of this and insists that for readiness and national security reasons, we actually don't want people 18 and older to be smoking or making that decision, and that the Department of Defense is actually deciding to go tobacco-free on all U.S. military installations worldwide by 2020. But on the point of personal choice and the ability to make decisions when you're 18, that may be true about voting and certain other issues, but when it comes to a serious public health threat, we've found, as we did with alcohol, that it is called for to make a law that restricts that choice, especially when we're talking about an addictive substance, which really prevents kids from being able to have that free choice. When we're talking about addiction, it's no longer a matter of individual choice, but rather addictive behavior that starts too young and becomes a lifelong addiction, leading to serious chronic health problems. When we did something similar for alcohol, I think we can all recognize that that was effective. Sure, you're not going to get every kid to, you're not going to restrict access to alcohol for every kid out there, but we did save hundreds of thousands of lives through stopping or reducing binge drinking, drunk driving, and teen drinking that turns into alcoholism. On the point, though, about impact, that this wouldn't make an impact, I really beg to differ. I think we have some great data now. This is sort of the really bright spot about Tobacco 21 is that some people think that prohibition doesn't work, but we now see that that's not true in our own communities here in Illinois. In Evanston and Chicago, they just released some really amazing data showing that just since they implemented Tobacco 21 in 2015, they've already seen 37.5% reduction in their teen smoking rates. That's not 100%, but why not save a third of the lives of your youth that would otherwise become smokers? So I just wanted to bring your attention to those points and hope that you do vote in favor of Tobacco 21 tonight. But thank you so much for having the courage to consider it. We really appreciate it, and I really hope that Village of Gurnee becomes the 17th municipality in Illinois to do it. So thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, if there's no other public comment, I'll move on to the agenda, but there will be an opportunity at the end for additional public comments. So do I have an approval of the consent agenda as presented? Motion by Trustee Jacobs, second by Trustee Balmas. Roll call, please. Andy?
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
6-0.
All right, motion carries. Patrick, please read the consent agenda into the record.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the February 26, 2018 and March 5, 2018 Village Board meetings. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2018-22, executing a 3-year contract with the Mad Bomber Firework Productions for firework display services. Item number 3, approval of ordinance 2018-23, approving and publishing the official zoning map of the Village of Gurnee. Item number 4, approval of resolution 2018-03, reallocating 2018 volume cap to the Village of Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Item number 5, approval of request to allow Canine Officer Dan Ruth and Canine Bear to attend advanced narcotics detection training in Johnson, Iowa from April 9th through 12th, 2018 at a cost not to exceed $350. Item number 6, approval of payroll for period ending March 2nd, 2018 in the amount of $786,468.93. Item number 7, approval of bills for period ending March 19, 2018 in the amount of $817,075.93.
Thank you, Patrick. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read into the record? Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please, Andy.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
6-0.
All right, we'll move on to petitions and communications. And tonight, the Village of Gurnee is very honored to present plaques to 2 gentlemen from our community for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, Jacob Stutzman and Rahil Verma. Is that right? If you want to join me down front. All right, this award is presented to Jacob Vernon Stutzman in honor of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout on behalf of myself and the Village Board. I know it took a lot of work to get here. It's not easy to attain the Eagle Scout rank, so if you wouldn't mind letting our audience know what you did for your project.
Hello, my name is Jacob Stutzman. I came here with my family, my parents Donna and Vernon Stutzman, my brother Nathan, and my grandparents George and Ruth Thalman. My Eagle project was for the St. Gilbert's Church in Grays Lake. What I did was I built basically 3 bookshelves. There was 2 taller ones on the sides and 1 shorter one in the middle with a granite countertop that acted as like a countertop for like us, just for a place to set like important books and stuff. And yeah, that was basically about it.
That's a very worthy project. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Rahel. All right. This award is presented to Rahel Verma in honor of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout on behalf of myself and the village board. So congratulations. And we'd like to hear a little bit about your project.
So my project, I'm here with my parents, my mom and dad, and my project was at Feed My Starving Children in Libertyville, and I made 2 coat racks that they could use in the winter because they needed something to help be a little more organized. So I made 2 coat racks that could hold around 150 to 200 coats on wheels that they could move around and place wherever they wanted to help organize their facility a little bit better.
Very worthy project, too. Congratulations. All right. Well, we're delighted that you both worked so hard to achieve that, and I know it'll take you very far in life, so we'll have our eye on you. So again, congratulations. All right, thank you. And next is a proclamation designating April as Fair Housing Month in the Village of Gurnee. April 11th, 2018 marks the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, which guarantees equal housing opportunities for all citizens. And the Village of Gurnee supports fair housing laws and programs to eliminate discrimination. And individuals in the state of Illinois have the right to choose where to live without discrimination based on race, color, religion, age, gender, marital status, national origin, and/or disability. And equal housing opportunities should be available for all citizens and should be achieved throughout the country. And fair housing groups, such as the Fair Housing Center of Lake County and Prairie State Legal Services, have been formed to investigate allegations of illegal housing discrimination, and the talents of grassroots and nonprofit organizations, housing service providers, financial institutions, elected officials, state agencies, and others must be combined to promote and preserve fair housing and equal opportunity. Now, therefore, I, Christina Kovarik, Mayor of the Village of Gurnee, do hereby proclaim April 2018 as Fair Housing Month. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Trustee Thorstensen. Second. Second by Trustee Balmas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, and I don't think there'll be any nays. And then our next proclamation for April is Alcohol Awareness Month. Each April since 1987, the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence has designated April as Alcohol Awareness Month. And Alcohol Awareness Month was established as a nationwide effort to provide the American public with information about the disease of alcoholism and the serious problem of alcohol abuse. And underage drinking is a growing problem with devastating consequences, and alcohol use by young people is extremely dangerous, not only to themselves, but to a society as a whole. And alcohol is the #1 drug of choice for America's young people and is associated with traffic fatalities, violence, unsafe sex, suicide, educational failure, and other behavioral problems. And those who start drinking before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to become alcoholics than those who begin at age 21. In 2018, Alcohol Awareness Month will serve to remind us that alcohol is a major factor in motor vehicle crashes, homicides, suicides, and unintentional injuries, all of which are the leading cause of death among youth. Now therefore I, Christina Kavard, Mayor of the Village of Gurnee, do hereby proclaim April 2018 as Alcohol Awareness Month in Gurnee and urge all residents to support the efforts of those working to prevent underage drinking. Do I have a motion to approve?
moved.
Motion by
Second.
Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Jacobs. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? It's Alcohol Awareness Month. Just as a reminder for the board, we do have our next and final budget hearing for fiscal year 2018-2019, April 2nd at 6:40 p.m. So make a note on your calendars. Anything else, Pat?
No, not at this time.
All right, and we have some reports tonight. We're very honored to have Maureen Reedy here from our Visit Lake County, which is our Convention and Visitors Bureau, give us an update on what they've been doing. You can either use that microphone or I have the handheld. All right, and then she's brought some very special guests that she'll introduce. Welcome. All yours.
Stand here. Does that work? Perfect. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here this evening and talk to you about the many marketing strategies we use at Visit Lake County to help demonstrate a return on investment for Gurnee. You know, this is we're a partnership organization, and we're delighted to have some of our key partners with us this evening as well, and I'll introduce them in a minute. But I want to take you through some of the recent marketing initiatives, and again, talk to you a little bit about the ROI from our initiatives here in Gurnee. So our mission is to stimulate economic vitality and visitor spending, inspiring travel by creating and promoting memorable travel experiences to Lake County and Gurnee. So, oh, you have the right slide up already, Brian. Wow, just ahead of me. We play a vital role in economic development. So destination promotions efforts create a positive image, not just for potential tourists, but for potential businesses as well. And I think that this is a really interesting slide that sort of demonstrates the importance of a visit to Gurnee. If you build a place that people want to visit, you'll build a place where people want to live. And then if you build a place where people want to live, it's a place where people want to work. And if it's a place where people want to work, it's a place where then businesses would want to locate. And then you'll build a place that people want to visit again. It all starts with a visit. So I think that that's really a great statement. Destination promotion efforts create a positive image, not just for tourists, but for potential businesses as well. So we're a regional marketing alliance, and we are fortunate to receive a grant from the Illinois Office of Tourism as a certified bureau because we serve a very big area. We serve all of Lake County. So we receive actually one of the largest tourism grants available. It was over $1 million this past year. You would not be able to receive this grant as an individual community. You have to be a regional certified CVB to receive this grant, which we've been receiving since 1985. So it's matched by our 12 municipalities and the county, along with all of our industry partners. We can also use co-op advertising to match our grants. Our office is in Gurnee. You know, we have a staff of 7 here. And the representatives on the board, of course, you all know Cheryl Ross is our board chair. Randy Abertelski is our secretary with Gurnee Mills, and John Kraniak with Six Flags as a director, and Emilio Fabico is joining our board next week as a director, so we're delighted to have him and also have him here with us this evening. So we serve an area of it's actually 8,500 hotel rooms in Lake County. So as I said, this is one of the largest service areas in the state, so we are fortunate to receive a large state grant, which we have applied to every year. The challenge is that, as you know, based on what's happening with the state budget, that there's always this uncertainty with when our state grant will come, if and when. We've been fortunate to receive it every year, but you know, we become even more reliant on our local partners like Gurnee to help us through that time period when the state grant hasn't come through. We usually go at least 6 months before we receive a state grant. So we appreciate the local funding to get us through that time period, because obviously we want to continue our marketing efforts during that time period, and we need, you know, stability in our operation. So your investment then is leveraged with all the other community partners, and of course Gurnee has the top tier destination drivers here and is our largest investor. So we can move on. So let me give you an overview then of our marketing strategies here. I always say it's marketing requires multiple touch points now. You know, the environment's become so sophisticated for marketing, and we have to connect with consumers in so many different ways. So we use a variety of marketing strategies to get our message out and promote Lake County and Gurnee. You can go to the next slide, Brian. So the website is obviously the portal that we're driving all visitors to, because it's got information on everything you can see and do throughout the county and in the Gurnee area. And we were looking back over last year, and there were 162 events listed for Gurnee. Did you know you have 162 events in Gurnee that visitors might be interested in going to last year? So, and I have to say, of course, these numbers are reflected the fact that Key Lime Cove was closed. So there would have even been more events to promote had Key Lime Cove been open. And same with the travel package. There were over 58,000 views of special offers in travel packages. Again, this is in a year when Key Lime Cove was closed. So we were still out there promoting Gurnee, and obviously there was still a lot going on. And we've got an image of the visitor's guide there in the corner as well, and then some of the things coming up here and some of the events that just happened in Gurnee over the past week. So let me talk a little bit about the summer advertising campaign. Six Flags was the centerpiece of that campaign, as they have been the past few years. Our target market is the Chicago area and the suburbs, and I think all of us can agree that that makes sense, that we want to get people up here from those areas to experience what Gurnee has to offer. And we use TV and Pandora and online ads, outdoor ads. We had a full digital marketing campaign. And the campaign was viewed over 22 million times. We also did a co-op buy, as we do every year with Six Flags. It's in the outer market, so outside of the Chicago area. Of course, we plan to do that again this year. This is on the digital side of the campaign. It really yielded huge results, and we were really impressed with just the number of contest visits, the number of entries, the click-through rate was strong, and we produced a lot of storytelling videos because, of course, it's all about video now. Who wants to read anything? They just want to run a 30-second video. So we had a video we produced with Six Flags that, as you can see, it had over 300,000 impressions and over 120,000 views just on that video through our summer campaign. So the total digital impressions was 4.9 million. Incredible numbers. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit about the survey results afterwards, just to give you an idea of what we like to do a survey and see how many people actually came to Lake County after our summer campaign. 63% is a huge conversion ratio. These are non-residents. These are people outside of Lake County that came to Lake County this summer. And we asked them what were the most popular attractions. No surprise, Six Flags at 53% and Gurnee Mills at 51%. So that means of those people that responded to our survey, over 50% of them went to both of those attractions. 64% of the people that came were families. Again, no surprise. The average travel party, over 4, almost 3-night stay, which we were surprised. That's gone up significantly over the past year. And the average travel spend was up to $528 as well. And I have to point out, because we're really proud of the fact that our campaign this year was recognized nationally with an Adrian Award. And this is presented by the Hospitality Sales and Marketing International in New York City. And we were fortunate to receive a gold award. There were about 30 given out nationwide. I mean, we're talking about everywhere from Seattle to Florida to, the state of Maine and a lot of other places across the country. And we were recognized with the gold award for our tourism marketing campaign, our summer campaign. So it was really a special moment for us. So on to the fall. This is something new we've introduced a couple of years ago, again, anchored by Fright Fest being here and so many great fall attractions. So we have what's now called the Spooks and Spirits campaign. So it's been kind of fun, and we see this really having legs and growing in the future. But we had a great landing page and newspaper inserts, TV, Pandora, and digital ads, and you can see the impressions there and the post engagement, so impressions over 900,000 too. So pretty strong campaign for us, and as I said, I think we can really grow this in the future. But it all starts with Fright Fest. Okay, and speaking of fall, the Legions of Craft Beer Festival is something we really want to help you promote. I mean, we know it's important to you, and we work really closely with your staff and to make sure that we got the message out and that we did a lot in terms of the social media, because we have a huge social media reach. So we were out there really posting a lot about the Craft Beer Festival. It was a great event this year too, isn't it? So anyway, thanks to obviously a strong partnership with Ellen Dean and her team then. And the holiday campaign. So as you can see, we're doing so much with digital. This holiday campaign was strictly a digital campaign this year. And in addition to Gurnee, the village of Libertyville came in as a partner too. And in talking with Ellen, we felt like the two communities would really complement each other. You both have your own assets and a little bit different personality, and that we could work together. And both communities came in with a $4,000 investment, and then we made investment in it as well. And we actually built two separate landing pages, one for Libertyville and one for Gurnee, actually along with the overall landing page promoting Lake County as well. But it was really interesting to see what the results were, and the Gurnee results had really strong impressions too. And we're always happy to see a lot of people enter the contest. We had over 1,600 people. It's just amazing that people still enter contests and sweepstakes. So generally we were very pleased with the campaign. Again, we think there's a lot of opportunity to promote holiday events in Gurnee, obviously, as well as the holiday shopping. And I just wanted to show you some of the other digital marketing we do in Gurnee, and some of the strong reaction we got. No surprise that Great Wolf Lodge is really generating a lot of excitement, and reach of 215,000 there, 7,000 reactions. That's huge. 3,800 likes on a post about a Great Wolf Lodge coming, so that was great to see. One of the top performers there during the holiday season, of course, was Santa coming. We have the Village of Libertyville there and Village of Gurnee that we were, again, promoting through our digital campaign. And then I thought Jump America, that was a really nice, that was actually part of a blog we did on things to do over the holidays. So much to do in the Gurnee area, and maybe everybody can't get outside, but here's a great indoor activity, and so we do a lot of blogs about different things, and we actually went back and looked, and we had mentioned Gurnee businesses 77 times in blogs over the past year, so you can see there's a lot to write about happening here in Gurnee. A few more sample Facebook posts. Obviously, Six Flags always generates a lot of excitement. Another post about Great Wolf Lodge. Some of the blogs we did. You can see that Great Wolf Lodge generated over 27,000 reactions. So again, every time we post about Great Wolf, we just get all this reaction. I wonder why. So anyway, a lot going on the digital side. And I did want to mention Restaurant Week as well. We finished that up recently, so we're still gathering all the stats on that because it was just held a couple weeks ago in March. But we did a big campaign in terms of, again, print and e-blasts and digital campaigns and banner ads and a lot of different things. But one of the fun things we did was a partnership with WXLC, and created these Facebook Live moments. So this was Mary's idea to work with them on this, and I actually should take a moment to introduce our new marketing manager, Mary Priller's here. So Mary worked closely with our restaurants that were participating in Restaurant Week, and then with XLC, and they sent out some of their celebrity or their hosts to different restaurants and did this Facebook Live. So we're going to see if we can play this one, right, Brian? Give it a try and see. This is one that was, go ahead and see if we can get it. This was done at Stevens, so we'll see if it actually plays. Because I think you will recognize the person.
Hi, this is Janelle from 102.3 XLC. I am here at Stevens of Gurnee. It's located on the corner of Washington and Milwaukee in Gurnee, and we are here celebrating Lake County Restaurant Week. Lake County Restaurant Week kicks off tomorrow. It's running March 2nd through 11. And what is it? It's 10 days to savor. You can check out the place you've been wanting to try. They've got prefix menus, culinary delights, special offers, incredible cocktails, and fantastic desserts. There's nearly 60 restaurants that are participating, so get out and enjoy. I'm actually here at Stevens right now, and we're getting ready to enjoy this beautiful food. I have my mom, who's the videographer. I ordered some shrimp scampi, also the caprese appetizer. She's got salmon, and then she's also got crab brie soup. So get out here, let's celebrate Restaurant Week together. Use the hashtag Lake County RW when posting to social media. But Stevens, they've got these great offers, and I'm going to post on the comments what they're offering, but you can choose an appetizer, you can choose an entree, and you can also choose a dessert for only $34 per person, or for a couple it's only $64, so even better deal. So we're gonna have some fun, eat some great food, have a drink or two, and cheers to Lake County Restaurant Week 1023 XLC, and you can visit 1023xlc.com for full details. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Great.
Yeah, she did good.
She did such a nice job there, and it was great for Stevens. Loved it, and this is something that lives on the XLC site that we can promote all year round as well. And we also did one at Chocolate Sanctuary too. Lisa Tyler went there and did a really nice Facebook Live again with her daughter eating at Chocolate Sanctuary. So we were really pleased with that. We did 12 overall, didn't we?
Yeah, and had that one. Both of them were very comparable, about 1,200 views. So, and that was
yeah. So, but something new we tried this year was really fun, and I think we'll continue it next year. And I know the XLC personalities had a great time with it. So, a lot of room to grow this. It's only in its third year, so we'll continue to see more restaurants participate, and hopefully more in Gurnee as well. Onward to, I just wanted to mention the Naval Station Great Lakes, because I know that has a huge economic impact here in Gurnee. We have a strong partnership with the Naval Base. We've worked with them for years and years. We've got a section of our website that's devoted to all the things you can do when you're coming in as a family for graduation, things that are important to you. So we've housed everything on our website in a special section, and really work closely with the Naval Base to get the word out on what people can do while they're here. Because, these families are coming from all over the country. They don't know necessarily what to do, where to stay, where things are, where Lake County is. So this has been a really helpful program through the years. And, they're visitors here, and they're staying a couple days. And that they're out there shopping and eating in the restaurants in Gurnee. And then I also wanted to mention the group side. So this is, what I've been talking about is primarily the leisure side. This is the group side of the business. We actually have 3 people on our staff that go out and recruit group business. So we're constantly and actively searching for group business, and this is meetings, reunions, sports tournaments, tour groups, and more. So this just gives you an idea of how we position some of the different markets there with the group tours and the family reunions. And Greg knows all about the family reunions, right, Greg? Trustee Garner has had 2 family reunions in Gurnee. Thank you. This is such a great location for family reunions, and I know Great Wolf will see some family reunions. That'll be good business for you, and they all love to go to Six Flags, and of course they all go and shop at Gurnee Mills in their free time. So it's just really great business for Gurnee. So we're out there seeking that kind of business as well. And just to give you a few of the results from the group business. Again, it was a little bit of a down year because of Key Lime Cove being closed. So some of the business that would typically have stayed at Key Lime Cove did not stay there this year. We had 22 groups come, over about 3,000 attendees that stayed right in Gurnee area. We had 3 soccer tournaments here that were 967 room nights. That's what we could track from the soccer tournaments. And of course, those tournaments are playing in Libertyville and Waukegan Fields. And then the National Junior Basketball Tournament. This is a great tournament that comes every spring and uses basketball courts all over the county. Their primary courts are in Waukegan at the Field House, the Libertyville Sports Complex, and then they use other venues throughout Lake County. We had less rooms in Gurnee because of Key Lime Cove being closed. Key Lime Cove usually picked up 400 plus room nights from that soccer tournament, from the basketball tournament. So numbers reflect the fact that, you had a major hotel close this past year. We did generate 59 leads for future business that's valued at about $2 million. So hopefully we can close some of that business for Gurnee in the future. And then finally, just to wrap up, I always like to say that tourism is a wise investment here. Lake County generates over $1 billion annually in visitor spending. We continue to be the third largest county in Illinois in terms of travel expenditure. And our marketing helps brand Lake County as a tourism destination, and Gurnee is the cornerstone with 3 destination drivers here with Six Flags, Gurnee Mills, and now Great Wolf Lodge. Tourism is a key part of your economic development strategy, and investing in tourism creates this virtuous cycle of economic benefits there. You can't really read that image there, but tourism marketing generates demand. It generates spending, spurs jobs and tax revenue, and supports essential local services. We're well aware of Gurnee's dependency on visitors, and we're grateful to serve in the crucial role as your destination marketing organization. And thank you so much in the confidence that you provide us every year and the financial support that you've given us through the years to allow us to do our job to help you generate tax revenue here in Gurnee to support those other services that are so important to you here. And partnerships are a key part of what we do. As you know, we wouldn't exist without our partners. So we're very fortunate to have very, very strong partners here in Gurnee. And I ask our key partners here to say a few words. So I'm going to turn it over to them now, and we are going to start with Six Flags, and then Gurnee Mills, and then we'll wind up with Great Wolf Lodge. So John Kraniak from Six Flags is going to take it away.
Thanks, Maureen. Just want to take a quick minute to endorse the efforts of Visit Lake County. They do not function the way you would envision a traditional visitors bureau to function. There's very no checking of the boxes happening. They're creating new content. They're creating new special events. They're staying on top of the different platforms of communication always. Maureen mentioned that we partner with them on advertising efforts, and when we review that partnership and when we plan out a year, without exception, their advertising strategies align with our own. They have a solid ad agency that they work with, and it's comforting to know that they're seeing it the same way we are as an organization, and we're forced to stay out in front of it. We're trying to chase down teens, and they are hard to get a hold of. So the way that Visit Lake County positions it is aligned with ours. She has a dedicated team working for her, and under her strong leadership, they're just a great partner for Six Flags and driving visitation to the park and to Gurnee and to Lake County in general. So we appreciate their support always. So she also said I should take the opportunity to share a little bit about what's new at Six Flags this year. So if you'll indulge me for a couple minutes. Mardi Gras Hangover, our 16th roller coaster. So excited. Following up last year's successful new coaster, the Joker. It was, we've come to find out it was the most impactful of any new capital introduction in all of Six Flags over the last 2 years. The Joker was. So it was a home run for us, and we don't always have the opportunity to follow up a coaster with another coaster, but we're in that spot this year. So world's largest loop coaster. The loop is going to be 100 feet tall. The pieces of the track are arriving. Most of them, I believe, are here. They're on property in our parking lot right now. Maintenance is assuring us it's going to go up pretty quickly. So looking forward to that come spring. Inverted hang time. We believe we have a shot to achieve a record hang time on this ride, considering the size of the loop and the size of the trains. So we're going to hang a lot of folks upside down for quite a while this summer. So really excited for Mardi Gras Hangover. And in support of that, an event that was rolled out at a few of our sister parks last year, a Mardi Gras Festival. We thought with our new capital, with where it's located, that it's a perfect opportunity for us to do the same thing. It was a real big success at those parks, so we're gonna jump in on a Mardi Gras Festival, planning to run it the last weekend of July through the second weekend of August this summer. 2 full weeks, 3 weekends. Exclusive parade. I believe it's the only time in the summer we'll be running our nightly parade is during Mardi Gras. Big new floats, tons of beads, stilt walkers, unique food offerings, just a lot of life in the park. Music, and you just feel it when you're walking around. There's different things happening there. So, and have that syncing up with our new capital is just a unique opportunity, and really should, support that new ride after we launch it later in the summer. It should really round out the season really well. And after we've tossed them around on 16 roller coasters and they've celebrated Mardi Gras, they're going to get hungry. So we've got a new restaurant coming in, Big Lou's Italian Beef. For those of you familiar with the park, it is located in Orleans Place, the former Bourbon Street location, which has been closed for, I want to say, close to a decade or maybe a little longer. So maybe Hank's cringing, so maybe not quite that long, but it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had anything in there. So all new offering, Italian beef, hand-breaded chicken strips, and lots of good food there at Big Lou's. That's the fun stuff. In addition to those investments in the park, we're also investing in the safety and security of the park and the property in general. We're doing some new barricades at the front gate. We are doing some additional cameras throughout the park and on the ride platforms. A lot of stuff happening in there. It's always part of it. It's an older infrastructure, so always important to keep up with the safety of it, and security is always our top priority for sure. And working with the PD and their team to keep everybody having fun at Six Flags, and an afterthought on the safety of the park. So. That's essentially all I have, so I think I'll turn it over to Randy to talk about Gurnee Mills.
Thank you, John. We'll look forward to that ribbon cutting.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The coaster?
I'll probably pass the ride.
The coaster or the restaurant? Which one?
No, I'll let somebody have my spot on the ride.
Marine's got a front row seat reserved, right?
Yeah, I know.
See, she that's
Well, between Stevens Crab Bisque and Big Bob's Italian Beef, I'm going to do this presentation and hit the road real quick because I'm hungry. Yes, I support everything that John said about the CVB, and I just want to say that they're definitely, is in my time in the industry, the best in the class. In addition to some of the accolades John said, they're creative, and that's what's unique. It's not just about checking the box. It's coming up with new, interesting, cutting-edge ways to get the word out. And that's what Gurnee Mills does, is we use VLC as a vehicle to get the word out about Gurnee Mills in the community. So thank you to Maureen and her team. She has an outstanding team. And that's why we're all here today, is to talk about that. So in addition, let me just give you a quick few updates on Gurnee Mills. If you've been through the mall lately in the last month or so, you've seen our renovation is well underway. So just to give you a quick recap, we have LED, probably 95% of the LED installed throughout the center. New soft seating is on order and planters on order. Refinishing hardwood floors has begun in the north wing, and we're slowly making our way all the way to south toward Bass Pro. Replacing skylights with the weather. We've had some pretty decent weather, so we've been able to install some skylights by entrance A near Chicago Wood Fire Pizza, and it looks great having that new natural light in there. Adding floating ceilings. The floating ceilings are mostly done, probably 98% done throughout the center. Those are installed. And updated food court. We started some of the demo in the food court. We also painted the ceiling in the food court. Makes it nice and bright. And we started to replace some of the tenant storefront signs in the food court. Still, that'll be probably one of the last things we do is the food court, because there's a lot involved there. Refurbished directional signage is on order, I'm really excited about that coming together too, is it's going to help. We're such a big mall and we're spread out. It's going to help some of our customers know where to go and how to get there. So, and then of course some of the options we have, some tenants under construction, which we're very excited about. So if you go to the next photo, you can see some of the renderings that we have. And I think you've all seen these already, but if you get out to the center, you can see it in place. The chandeliers are in place in front of the anchor store there by entrance A on the top right. The clouds are installed and the chandelier lighting is starting to be installed. Tomorrow in center court, the bottom right photo, the carpet will start to get installed and the lighting is going in. So some really good progress. The carpet is in now, so some great progress, and we're excited for you to come out and see it. We should be having an Anchor Store grand opening in summertime, so we're excited about that to happen too. And next photo, just some good news about brick and mortar. And of course, Gurnee Mills is big brick and mortar. 94% of all retail sales take place in stores, in brick and mortar. So more than 90% of what you see. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. One of the things that online retailers and retailers are finding out is the omni-channel, having multiple vehicles. So even a retailer like Amazon has purchased Whole Foods. Why? Because they feel they need a footprint. And so that's where we see the evolution of retail going, is to omni-channel, where you have some of each. And that's what our retailers, the successful retailers, that's what they're embracing, is those multi-vehicles. And Gurnee Mills, of course, is a big part of that. So excited to see what people like. The number one, it's kind of hard to see this, but the number one reason that you choose to shop in a store versus online is you get to see, touch, feel, and try out the items. That's the number one. Number two is take home items immediately. So with that, I'll turn it over to my new neighbor across the street, whom I haven't met yet, and look forward to having you open Great Wolf Lodge on July. So, and thanks again to Maureen and the CVB.
Thank you, Andy. I'm going to move over here so I don't have my back to so many people, but Mayor Kavark and Village of Gurnee trustees and residents, thanks for giving me a couple minutes. So my name is Emilio Fabico, and I'm the general manager of the Great Wolf Lodge, Illinois. We're working on being exciting, so I don't have anything to show like everyone else. We're still working on it. But I want to say, again, I want to acknowledge Visit Lake County. I recently moved from a larger area, Orlando, and work for a company that I won't name the name, but the initials are Walt Disney World, so maybe you can guess who that is. But in a community like that, it's really hard to be able to feel the impact of the Visitors Bureau. And I can tell you that here it's been tremendous, being able to connect and personally get contact with the folks that make things happen. So we've been felt very welcomed and excited to be a part of the future of this area. Also being residents of both Lake County and specifically the village of Gurnee. We're excited to be great partners and want to be a resident that you're excited to have, and that we add value not only to the visitors but also to the residents as well. So the plans now are to open July 1st. We probably will sneak in maybe a couple days earlier so we can get everyone to come and visit and see what's happening there. But I know that Key Lime Cove was really thought highly of and was a beautiful resort, but I can tell you from beginning to end, it's completely changed. So we've added some additional space in the water park. Someone sent me a note, just a Great Wolf guest saying, "Are you changing the rooms at all?" And we're not knocking walls down. We're adding some walls and adding some interior decor differently. So I think you'll be surprised to see how it's changed once you come and visit. So again, hope to see you there soon, and thank you for having us here this evening. Thanks.
Just special thanks to Randy and John, and Hank is here too as well. So thank you, Hank, for coming, and Emilio too. So you can see that we've got strong support from our partners, and we work with, there are other hotels and many restaurants in Gurnee that we work with as well, and of course other attractions here. So anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to tell you about what we're doing to help you and help support this tax base in Gurnee.
Incredible. I'm always impressed and just in awe of how much you get done on your budget. I think one of the major wins for all of us is how closely you do work with our partners that are key to bringing in, and you don't see that. It's really a very close-knit group, so that's got a lot of value. That's really kind of priceless. And I think the board, and you guys can, obviously I'll open it up for questions, but if the village tried to do this on their own and support Six Flags and support the Mills and now support Great Wolf, we could not do it for what our contribution is to the Visitors Bureau each year. I mean, I just know, you know, I'm in the marketing department at Financial Services, and just what we do on one campaign, we'd have to have like a full-time person just managing a relationship, just to outsource and stuff. So it is a very, very wise investment, and we do get a good return. And so I'm very thankful, very appreciative. I know Maureen's like one of the first people I call when I get some of these bright ideas. You know, would this work? You know, because it's a good teamwork. You know, she's always willing to help improve and draw visitors here. So that's been great. Do the other trustees have questions or comments?
They do excellent family reunions. Every other year, I recommend it.
Bring yours back.
Yeah. And I'm still convinced there's something to the sports tournaments, and we're going to figure that out.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out. I haven't got the right pieces in the right places, but I don't give up. So we're going to get that one figured out. Well, very good. Thank you for the update. It's always good to hear, and the community to be able to watch this and see what they're getting for their investment too. So thanks. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you to all of you.
All right, and we go from all that fun, excitement to
More fun and excitement.
Our favorite finance director. Yay! Money, favorite finance director. Brian's going to just give us an update, progress report on the third quarter. These are really important so that we know we're staying on track for the year.
All right,
God,
thank you, Mayor.
everybody's leaving, Brian.
That's all right. I don't have any loop coasters to show or anything like that. So, so included in the materials, third quarter report. This is ending January 31st. 3/4 of the way through the year, we start to see some trends develop here. So there'll be some, I guess, more important things to talk about for this quarter. But before we get into the numbers, just a quick review where we're at. Fiscal year 17 is done. This is the third quarter of fiscal year 18, and as you know, April 2nd, we hope to hold a public hearing and approve next year's budget. So moving right along. Cash and investments finished third quarter at almost $29 million. Third quarter is typically where we see a dip in our cash and investments because we paid out the pension, the annual pension payments, and debt service. So this will be a little lower. Usually that number's around 33, 34. General fund made up 75% of that. Water and sewer 15%. 37% is in checking money market accounts at First Midwest, 35% in our investment account, and then 28% at Illinois funds. Versus 91-day T-bill of 1.13%. The village's portfolio is earning 1.253, so ahead of our benchmark. Looking at major revenues in the general fund here, and this is really the most important slide. Finished the quarter 0.07% behind the seasonally adjusted budget, about $14,800, and 1.76% behind last year. Obviously, we've talked quite a bit about sales tax. That is the biggest concern right now. It is 3% behind last year in the adjusted budget. Partly due to that administrative fee from the state, and then a supplemental payment that we did not get this year. We've talked about that a few times. But in general, we've seen a downward trend here. All but July was down versus last year, and we had December sales came in 4.3% down from last year. So obviously an area we want to take a look at, keep an eye on, and do what we can there. Income taxes, these are well ahead of budget. But last year, if you recall, this is part of a trade-off from the state's budget proposal where they would accelerate 2 payments in exchange for a 10% reduction. We did see that 10% reduction continue into the new fiscal year for the state in that proposal as well. Telecom taxes, I've seen this going down steadily over the years. We did budget for a 7% drop here. And then hotel taxes down 39.65% from last year. Here you see the impact of Key Lime Cove, but up 3.59, I think it was, versus the seasonally adjusted budget. So. And then building permits fell a little bit behind this quarter due to some timing. Hopefully we'll make up for that here with the push at the end of the year. In fact, David has assured us that he will. Looking at the general fund, revenues in total, 76.95% of budget. Just point out a few things here. Licensing and permits is at 50.29. Again, that's a timing issue with business and liquor licenses. Intergovernmental revenues finished the quarter at 70.73. This is primarily due to timing of replacement tax and then some energy efficiency grant that we did not expect. Looking at the expenditure side, 77.24% of budget. Salary and wages finished the quarter just over 75%, and that's due to the timing of payrolls and then a pending adjustment for overtime in the police department. We do that annually at the end of the year. Employee benefits finished the quarter at 86.18% of budget. That's timing of insurance and police and fire pension payments. Contractual services finished the quarter 75.2%. That's seasonal contracts. And then the other contractual services category finished at 84.74%. And that's liability insurance premiums there. So there's also some flood-related expenses that are in that account. Looking at the water and sewer side, revenues finished 74.84% of budget. We talked a little bit last quarter about the summer months water usage being down. We did see that bounce back a little bit in the third quarter, so that's positive. Fines and forfeitures finished 99.71%. This is greater than anticipated delinquencies. Interest income is just shy of budget, but we feel that that'll meet budget by the end of the year. That'll come in right where we expect it to. On the expenditure side, finished at 72.03%. Employee benefits finished over that 75% at 84.3%. That's timing of workers' comp and medical insurance payments. Other contracted services, again, here we see liability insurance premiums. And then other financing uses finished at 80.68%. And that's the timing of the reimbursement to the general fund there. So just at this point, mostly timing issues in the water and sewer fund. Looking at police and fire pensions. On the police side, average portfolio balance, $45.8 million. The fund had investment income through the quarter of $6.5 million. Annualized return here of 18.93. The 12-month rolling is 17.84. And then the 36-month that we looked at to see how they compared over a longer period of time at 8.78. So anyway you slice it, a pretty good year for pension investments. Fire side, $38.3 million portfolio. Had investment income $3.9 million. Annualized return 14.6, 12-month rolling of 14.7, and then you see the 36-month on both sides. They're right in line with each other there, so 8.8. And just for a point of reference, the actuarial assumption is 7% here. So we are exceeding that. With that, I'm happy to take any questions or go back to the loop coaster.
It's quite the improvement on the pensions. Those look much better. Questions from the trustees? All right. This is good information as we close out the year and start working on the new fiscal year. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Brian. All right. That's the end of reports, right?
Correct.
And there's no old business?
Correct.
All right. So we're going to move on to new business. Item 1 is approval of ordinance 2018-24, amending Chapter 78 of the Gurnee Municipal Code by adding Section 78-1-12-610.2, parenthetical B, to prohibit the use of mobile electronic devices while operating a motor vehicle.
Sure. So Chief Woodside is going to walk us through the next two items on the agenda. Him and Attorney Winter worked on these mainly. I kind of played a back seat, took a look at it once they got everything wrapped up, but Kevin's going to run you through these two.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much. This ordinance is one that does not create any new restrictions. It is one that emulates the state law that already prohibits the use of cell phone and mobile devices while driving. What it does do is it creates an ordinance option for our officers. Staff recommended this ordinance because it gives the officer something between a uniform traffic citation and a warning ticket. There would be another enforcement option that we believe is going to increase enforcement and ultimately increase traffic safety. The primary focus of all of our proactive Traffic enforcement is to reduce accidents and to reduce the injuries that result from accidents. So that primarily has focused on speed enforcement, alcohol-related offenses, and seat belts. In 2013, the state passed the distracted driving state law that added and found that distracted driving was a significant contributor to traffic accidents. So that was the impetus behind this. So with the help of Brian Winter, we've drafted this ordinance for your consideration tonight.
So this is kind of like what the red light photo enforcement, where it's, if an officer writes the ticket under the state law, it's a moving violation, very expensive, but they have an option to write it under the local, and then it's in the administrative hearing, not quite as punitive, but still gets a message across, versus just a warning. So the officers felt strongly about this, so Kevin pursued it with Brian. And questions?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Trustee Balmas, second by Trustee Jacobs. Roll call, please, Andy.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
6 aye.
All right, motion carries. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2018-25, amending section 46-174 of the Gurnee Municipal Code to increase the minimum age for the purchase and sale of tobacco products to the age of 21. Chief?
This started as a healthcare concern from the Lake County Health Department, and I don't think I could do any better job of explaining the reasons behind that concern than the Healthy Community, Healthy Youth letter of support that was read during public comment. But that there is a law enforcement component to this, obviously, so we were brought in and asked if we would put our support behind this. And so looked at our tobacco enforcement grants that we receive from the state. We already regularly do tobacco compliance through all of the retailers throughout the village. Actually, we just completed that over the weekend, and there were no violations. So the retailers are in compliance with the current provision. So we're positioned to, if this ordinance is approved, to begin immediately in the morning distributing new packets and informing all of the retailers of the new ordinance and the requirement. It's important to point out that the two main provisions of the ordinance are that it changes and restricts the age for the purchase and sale of tobacco products, changes that from the age 18 to the age 21. It does not change the age for possession of tobacco products. And the ordinance also expands the definition of tobacco product now to include more than cigarettes and cigars and chewing tobacco, which was previously the limitation of the definition, now to include e-cigarettes and vape devices and all of the other newer methods for transmitting nicotine.
I think that's a very important distinction, that this is the purchase and sale and not possession. So questions from the trustees? I know there's a lot of pros and cons to this. Different perspectives. Trustee Garner?
Is anyone looking at making illegal also possession under the age of 21?
The county ordinance and the state legislation that's being proposed does not address possession. I think that the most appropriate way to address the possession issue would be at the state level. If local ordinances were to make possession unlawful, then you'd have 18, 19, and 20-year-olds who would lawfully purchase tobacco products in one community, traveling to the neighboring community where the restriction might be different. So that's the primary reason why it doesn't really make sense to try and regulate possession on the local level.
All right.
Don't have any questions, but I just want to make a few comments following up on what everybody else said. First of all, I want to thank each of our three speakers for speaking in a manner that was really civil in nature. I think some of our politicians at the state and federal level can probably take a lesson from each of you. I mean, it was truly, truly great to see you speaking as a group courteously towards each other and understanding and respecting each other's opinion on the subject. That being said, I don't know, I want to interject my personal opinion on the subject too before we take a vote, is that I'm not so sure if it's a Band-Aid approach. I mean, I look back, and I don't know if everybody in this room is old enough to remember a song from 1965, but it was called Alice's Restaurant. And there was a few refrains in the song about talking about one person singing the song, and they looked at him like he was an idiot, but soon after, two people sang the song, and they still thought they were a little bit strange, but soon after there were 4 and 8 and 16 and 32, and it became a movement. And it became a movement because it was the right thing to do. Health is the right thing to do. I was 18 once. I was never a smoker, but I went to school in a state where drinking was allowed. The summer I came home from school, I came home to a state that by the time I was 19, the state didn't allow drinking for 18-year-olds or 19-year-olds. It had become 21. I was 18. I thought I knew everything. I thought I could drink. I thought I could handle it. But as I got older, I realized that certain things weren't the right thing to do. As we get older, I'm now 56. I'll be 57 in a month and a half. And I've learned even as I've grown older to this age that alcohol, even in moderation, ain't such a good thing. And we've learned that because alcohol, the legal limit has been lowered. Why? Because alcohol, even in lower amounts, has been proven to impair you. Cigarettes, vaping, things like that may not impair you, but the jury is still out on how it can wreck your life. We don't know the effects of vaping. So we need to continue to learn about this. 18, 19, 20-year-olds don't know about this stuff. True 18-year-olds can make the decision to do this stuff by themselves, but a lot of them don't pick up this habit till they go to college. Let's try and nip this in the bud if we can. That's what I have to say on the subject.
Thank you. All right. Since there's no objection.
There's
okay, Trustee Bonus.
No question. I don't like the idea of regulating everything, that people should be able to make their own decisions, but we also know that we all don't make right decisions. And I was one of those smokers at 18 and through college, and so it probably wasn't the best thing. And like I said, it goes against my grain, but sometimes we have to help people make the right decisions. So it's a tough one. I agree with all of your arguments for letting them, when we send kids off to war at 18, it's kind of hard then to tell them, but you're not smart enough not to smoke or drink. So it's a tough one. It's a very tough decision.
I don't know, from my observations, majority of kids are law-abiding. Sometimes there's a gray area to it, but for the most part, and if 40% don't start smoking until they're 21 just because they're deterred because they can't purchase them, even though they might be able to get them somewhere else, it's a little more difficult. I'd rather help some than none. So, but yeah, you start feeling like you're regulating people's personal choices. But this, again, just like not smoking inside, the clean air thing was very controversial. And gosh, when we passed that and the state passed that, oh my God, everybody was going to go out of business. And then that didn't happen. And people have adjusted. And I think this is one of those, it's the right thing to do. And it's the beginning of a movement. So I guess if we have a motion in a second.
Let's keep them separately. You have them separate. So the first one would be the mobile electronic device first.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We voted on that, right?
No, we voted on that.
Oh, you voted on that one? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I checked it. When I check it, means we voted.
Yeah. So moved.
Okay. All right. We'll be the 18th community if we get a motion in a second. So I have a motion from Trustee Jacobs.
Second.
Second by Trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thomas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
6 aye.
All right, motion carries. And just for the record, we've been kind of considering this for at least 6 months. We've received a lot of material. It's circulated with staff. We've had an opportunity before tonight to consider this. So I do believe the trustees did do quite a bit of due diligence and saw what other communities did, read the pros and cons, which there are plenty. I can agree with you and I can agree with you. But it is the right thing for our community. So we'll move on from here. All right, item number 3, approval of ordinance 2018-26, creating Chapter 32, Section 32-33, entitled Building and Development Fees of the Gurnee Municipal Code, Residential Building Permit Fees. We're creating a new chapter.
Yeah, the chapter's reserved right now.
Okay.
So Dave is going to walk us through this. We haven't updated these building permit fees since 2004, so he's working on residential and commercial. The residential is a little easier to bite off, so he focused on that one first. So he's going to kind of walk you through his methodology because there are some fee changes, some moving around of the fees. So Dave is going to walk us through that quick here.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and trustees. As Patrick indicated, the last time these fees were adjusted was 2004. When we did a comprehensive update to all the building permit fees. In looking at them, some of them have been a little bit out of balance, so we wanted to take a look at them and rebalance, update, and simplify where we could. Like Patrick indicated, we started with the residential fees. They're a little bit more straightforward than the commercial ones. So we looked at all the fees that would apply to our residents, from new construction to remodeling to repairs. The first ones that I want to touch base on are the new construction. The current way that we do this is we first assess a value of the construction. So we add up all the different subcontracts that are part of the construction of the home, add those all up together. Then we assign once we have the total value, then we have a rate per $1,000 of construction, and then we apply a building permit fee based upon that rate. So what we have proposed to do is take a step out of that based upon the basic square footage of the home. We apply a $1.10 per square foot rate for the building permit fee, and that creates our new building permit fee. It's based upon the old methodology. It's just taking one step out of the mix. Also, it does not discriminate against the higher value construction methods from the lower value construction methods. The way it currently sits, if you have marble countertops, we charge you more of a permit fee than if you have laminate countertops. So our inspection requirements are the same. We wanted to make sure that it's reflected based upon what our costs are than what the value of the construction is. Taking that same methodology for the repairs and renovations, we assess what our costs were for each type of repair. I did this based upon everything from permit intake, clerical work, plan reviews, inspections, mileage trips, for inspections, added up all of those costs that the village sees, and then applied a 40% discount rate for all of those repair remodel permit fees. That was where I came up with the 40%. I assessed what all of the current permit fees, the current permit rates, the current permit quantities, figured out what our revenues were for this last year based upon typical numbers of permits. And in order to keep it balanced from where it is right now, we applied a 40% discount. As you can see on the final page, the revenues under the new scenario are within $5,000 of what they would have been under the old scenario. Some of them have gone up, some of them have actually decreased. But each of the permit types represents more of a fair representation of what the village's costs are with that 40% discount applied. And the reason why we do the 40% discount, we want to encourage people to come and get the permits, to do it the right way. We don't want to discourage them and have them go under the radar, weekend warriors. We want to make sure that it's done right, done safely, so that the occupants are safe, that the future occupants are safe. So those are the methodologies that I use to evaluate all of the permit fees. I provided you a summary sheet of those. I have all of the details. If anyone is interested with it, I'd be happy to share those with them. The permit fees that are associated with the remodel and repairs are about 10% of what the village revenues are for our building department permits. So it's a small portion. However, we feel strongly that it should be somewhat discounted so that we do keep seeing those permits come in rather than having them go under the radar. With that, I would entertain any questions as far as the methodology, as far as the rate structure that we put in. One other thing is I did set it up so it can be codified. The previous ordinance was not adopted as part of our municipal code when we did the comprehensive fee schedule in our municipal code. The building permits were left out because of their complexity. So this will get it into the municipal code, and likewise when we do the commercial ones later on this year, we'll get those set up in a format where they can be codified as well. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
And the only thing else I'd mention is now that we've got the municipal code online, these changes go virtually within a week of passage. So it's really been beneficial to have on the new website the municipal code, so everyone can see the new rates in anything we pass.
Mm-hmm.
Questions from the trustees? About 2004. Obviously, apparently I know our costs have gone up, and we're not trying to completely cover our costs, but at least to some extent cover our cost for service. By codifying it, when we do a fee update, would this be included, or would this always be separate?
No, in my opinion, it's better to have it codified instead of in pamphlet form, because now it gets printed up online in our municipal code virtually within a week of passage here, unless there's some reason for a delay in the passage. Unless its effective date was some future date. So I think it's preferable, I think, from a standpoint of transparency, to have it as a codified version in the municipal code.
But any action we take to change in the future will come before the village board and specifically amend
Oh,
these
yes.
fees.
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry, yes. Every time the board has to approve.
Okay.
I have a question.
Trustee Garner?
When the permits are issued, do we ever give the resident an explanation of what that's for?
Yes, the building permits, if they ask the question, we'll explain it to them, of course. But when we issue a building permit, they get a itemized grocery list, basically, of all the different things that we're charging for. And we tell them, it's for the plan review to verify code compliance, and then also for the inspection service to verify that it's installed per plan for their safety and for the safety of, future occupants of that home.
Great.
I've got a question.
Trustee Thorstensen?
David, could you walk through one of the larger variance line items?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I guess my question would be, if you could explain which, with a couple of examples, which types of fees or transactions would have the greatest impact in terms of writing the revenue for the cost that the village puts in, or increasing a cost to any of our residents?
Okay. I'll do the good news scenario first. So window replacement and doors. So if a resident comes in and wants a window replacement right now, we do it on it's a dollars per thousands of dollars spent. So if they have are spending $20,000 on window replacements, it's $8 per thousand. So we would charge a $160 permit fee. So our plan review, whether you're replacing one window or 20 windows, doesn't differ that much. We're checking to make sure that they meet the energy code. We're checking to make sure that bedroom windows still have a large enough opening for someone to escape out of, and then checking to see if there are any basement windows that have a little bit different requirements to it. So our review of the permit application is pretty similar. Likewise, on the other end, we typically can get the entire inspection done on one visit. So our costs are going to be pretty similar whether you're replacing one window or whether you're replacing 20 windows. So therefore, rather than having a cost per thousand, like I indicated, if you had a $20,000 project, the permit fee would be $160. This one we're taking down to a flat fee of $60 for windows and door replacements, no matter how many you're doing. On the other side, one of the other variants, probably re-roof is probably one of the, re-roof is one of them. Once again, we do a quick review, make sure that the ice and water shield is done, that they've got licensing by the state, and verifying that they've got all their ducks in a row. We do one inspection on the site. Once the roof is completed, make sure everything's trimmed up correctly. So our costs are pretty well set, whether it's a 5,000 square foot house or whether it's a 1,000 square foot house. So that one's going from $30 right now to up to $40. So those are kind of the scenarios that we ran through. The ones that vary greatly are the new construction based upon the size of the structure. If you have a 4,000 square foot home, we're going to spend a heck of a lot more time in there than we would with a 1,000 square foot home. So therefore, there is a scaling effect based upon the square footage.
Thank you.
A question on
Trustee Jacobs.
On hot water heaters. It would seem to me that most of those are done on an emergent basis. How would we get permits done for those on an emergent basis? It seems like you get a call that my hot water broke down on a Saturday morning, and I want hot water by Saturday afternoon.
We have good relationships with a lot of the plumbers and the installers in town. A lot of them will get retroactive permits. We don't want to hold up the permitting process for that, for emergency situations, heat in the winter, and for water heaters any time of the year. So, like I said, we've got good working relationships with them. They will actually, Home Depot, Lowe's will actually, when they sell the water heater and contract the professional services to get it installed, they'll all actually collect a permit fee as well at that time, remit it to us the next business day, we'll issue the permit, and then do the inspection. The inspection is the most important part on the water heaters and the furnace installations, so we can check the gas connections, the venting connections, make sure that everything's going to be safe.
Motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion from Trustee Christensen, second from Trustee Garner. Roll call, please, Andy.
Thomas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. It's the end of new business. I'll reopen the floor for public comment if anyone would like to address the board tonight. If there is no public comment, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Ballmer, second by Trustee Jacobs. All in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned.